I am super excited for everyone to meet one of my, and again, I'm going to say this probably every time because I truly like love all of my clients and we're like, anyways, one of my favorite clients, Candle Lockett. She is an OG dangerous woman. And you've heard the introduction and all the amazing things about her, but I want her to introduce herself to our international community of baddies and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, wow. It's an honor. It is an honor to be here. It's an honor to just have a conversation with you, Crystal. I think even just to be an OG, I feel like I've gone through the trenches to earn that title.
You have gone through the trenches.
I've come so far and I don't take it lightly. I thank God every single day I wake up just in gratefulness about one, him placing you in my life, because that was just not for no reason whatsoever. But I definitely know that he was definitely using you to create, finally, and make me realize the person that he was trying to make me be. And he was definitely using you as a facilitator in this process. And it's amazing. I am first
amazing.
Thank you.
Been amazing. And so you and I go like way back. We don't have to tell people like how far back, because then they'll be trying to count our years.
Right.
But we go back like to the 90s. We go back as far as like having gone to school together and just knowing each other and to be in each other's world for so long.
Right.
But tell me like a little bit about what you want people to know about who you are outside of the, outside of the whole bio resume thing.
The real estate stuff.
What is Candle Lockett?
I am finally at a place where I am someone that is living authentically, unapologetically, growing each day intentionally. I am loving life, even the good days and the bad days. I know that even when there's bad days, it's happening for a reason. And I know something great is on its way. Yeah. And it's kind of like that diamond, it has to go through so much pressure before you see how rare and how beautiful it is. And I just think that's what our lives are. So I appreciate the pressure. I appreciate the setbacks and the lessons, because I know it's only making me a better person that God has created me to be.
Yeah.
So aside from all of that, from the real estate, which I'm of course obsessed with, it's still like, okay, God, like, what are your intentions? How can I get aligned with you? How can I stay focused? Because I think that was the biggest problem that I didn't see, especially when I was working with you, that you saw clear as day, when I was just all over the place. And learning to focus and get aligned, that has been the biggest difference in my life.
So let's talk about, that's a great point, because there are things I think as coaches, I have a coach, that like that coaches can see that we can't see, right, in ourselves, because we're like in the middle of it. But before you started coaching and going on your growth journey, tell me a little bit about some of the things that you were struggling with.
Oh, gosh. Oh, wow. I was struggling. Well, one, I was dealing with an issue because I found out I had mold allergies, and mold allergies affected your emotional health as well as your mental health.
Yeah.
And I had no idea. And so I was just constantly in a constant everyday battle with myself and didn't even know. And what that battle became, the self-love did not exist. It was more of self-hate. I was constantly like on my case about, oh, you should have done this better. Oh, you should have done this yesterday. And this is why you're dealing with this now. And that's why you're the problem. Yeah. There was no love present for Candle. And I didn't even know it. I was constantly thinking that everything that I was saying bad was going to make me a better person, where obviously it was only making the situation worse.
Right.
And I didn't know it until you pointed it out to me. I was like, wait a minute. Wait, really? And I just never. And so now it's like I wake up and I celebrate the wins. Like right now, after this interview, I have my chicken nuggets and French fries ready to eat to celebrate this phenomenal conversation. So I'm learning to just appreciate and celebrate every win, even if it's a loss. It's like, okay, but what did you learn for it? Okay, that's what you learned. Okay, we're going to celebrate that because that's a lesson. But
Yeah.
that was the biggest thing, was like, it was like, it was a dark path that I was headed down because I was just kind of constantly not even loving myself.
Yeah. So it was a lot of inner mean girl self-talk, because I
Oh my gosh.
specifically remember, like, I think you texted me and you're like, I'm so sick of myself and I get on my nerves. And I was like,
Yes.
oh, okay.
Yeah. Right. I'm driving myself crazy.
Yeah.
Like I can't stand you right now. I just, it was this constant just talk. I'm like,
Yeah.
where did this come from?
Yeah. And so as you started to kind of recognize, right, even before we
Mhm.
started working together, so you had this inner talk, inner dialogue, which most people do, right? This inner
Yeah.
mean girl. What kind of results were happening in your life as a result of you talking to yourself this way? Like,
Oh my gosh. I was self-sabotaging everything possible. And I didn't know it. And now I'm a firm believer, of course, in the laws, especially of law of attraction, law of manifestation,
mhm,
speaking things, writing things, because all of these things are true. And everything that I was just speaking, it was like, it happened. Everything that
yeah,
I was thinking, it was happening. And it was like, Kendall, we've got to control these thoughts. And I
yeah,
remember we ended up naming it Christopher. And it was like, we got to control Christopher because Christopher is just all over the place. And then once
yeah,
I started doing things like intentionally, because you had me writing, like, Kendall, get up in the morning before Christopher even gets loose, just get it all out.
yeah,
And then once I did it, it was just like I was just regurgitating. I didn't even realize I had that much trash and toxicity in
yeah,
me.
yeah,
And once I started writing that stuff out and I'm seeing it, like, oh my gosh, then I could not deny what was happening. And then everything just started to change. But this was not an overnight process.
yeah,
This was like months. And then, of course, and you constantly, which was a great thing, being consistent with making sure that I did what I was supposed to do. Because
mhm,
it was easy to just, go back and just sit in the normal place of like taking in all those thoughts and just staying comfortable. And
yeah,
I had to get very uncomfortable to deal with everything that was in me. That was what was so
yeah,
crazy, that
yeah.
toxicity.
I love, for anybody who missed the story about Christopher, Kendall named her inner mean girl. Please tell us how you came up with the name
Oh my
Christopher
gosh.
for your inner mean girl.
Oh, I didn't know, because it was crazy because in the process, because I know one thing that I was constantly doing with you when you had literally, told me like, Kendall, it's your thoughts.
Yeah.
I felt like I was this bird on a branch. And the minute you told me that, the branch broke and I had no idea what to do. I didn't know how to
Yeah.
fly. All I saw was just me falling. Like, oh my God, this whole time, this was my thoughts. It's
Right.
not Kendall. And then I'm like, Crystal, but okay, if it's not the thoughts, then what is it? I mean, who is this person? And she was like, okay, remember when you were teaching kindergarten? Who was that one rambunctious child that just drove you crazy?
Off the chain.
Off the chain, loud. As soon as something great happened, he would come and just mess up the whole thing.
Yeah.
And as soon as you told me that, I immediately remember one of my favorite students, Christopher. He drove me bananas. And so
Yeah.
in the minute you said it, it's just like, that's who this is. It is a freaking Christopher. That
Yeah.
one thing that I could just let it lose its, it could go crazy if I allow it to happen.
Yeah.
But I know how to control Christopher. And
Mhm.
that was the biggest shift with working with you, was I didn't know how to control it until you really started saying, Kendall, that's Christopher. Control it. You know what to do.
Yeah.
You know how to control this thing. You know
Yeah.
the steps, and you started making me accountable for taking control of my life, because Christopher was just all over the place running everything. I was cussing out everybody from myself to people to birds, is anything that, was just making me upset or angry, to my job. I mean, even just opportunities that God had given me, I
Yeah.
let Christopher just take over and he would ruin the entire blessing.
Yeah.
So it was like, Kendall, wait a minute. We've got to stop this. Christopher is not running this show. Like, you have one
Yeah.
life. Is this really what we're going to do? Is just let this imaginary character just take control? No. So yeah,
Yeah.
that was the biggest thing, was controlling Christopher. And Christopher still shows up. Like, Christopher showed up this morning, but it was like, okay, Kendall, we know what this is. This is nothing but Christopher. You know how to get control and
Yeah.
take control of this day. There's so many opportunities in this day. He's not getting this opportunity. You can let him go for
Yeah.
5 minutes and
Yeah.
then
And
come back.
I think it's so important to notice, right? Like, and for you, identifying your inner mean girl thoughts as like
Yeah.
putting this personification on, I was like, oh, right. I see this as a thought, and it's not, I can control that, and I can control
Yeah.
it with love, right? Because we don't want to like be mean to our inner mean girl. That
Mhm.
absolutely like defeats the
Right.
purpose of the growth that you're trying to achieve, right? So I
Right.
think once you had that revelation that, okay, this is my thoughts, that's like creating this whole domino effect. It's like
Right.
literally my thoughts. And you got so good at noticing that, right? And
Mhm.
it's like, oh, it's just Christopher, right? It's like, it's just that
Yeah.
thought again. It's just that
Yeah.
thought pattern again. It's that self-sabotaging behavior, that inner part of me that is really just scared to be the best part of me, right? Like you
Yes.
are
Yes.
just like, I mean, people who don't know you personally maybe don't know, but like everybody that knows you, oh, Candle, yeah, she's amazing. Like she's the real estate queen. She's this, and you are all those things. And I think that through the process of your growth, you've started to realize, oh, okay, not in a braggy, like non-humble way, because you're one of the most humble people that I know, but it's just kind of like, oh, I can own who I've been called to be. I can be this person. I can
Yeah.
step into being this
Yeah.
person. And that is a beautiful process that you took yourself through that was at times really painful.
It was very painful. It was some hard, it was a mirror that I had to look at. It was like,
Yeah.
Candle, really, let's look in this mirror. It was, I remember you telling me, I think you gave me an exercise where I had to look in the mirror and tell me exactly who I was. And I had no earthly idea.
Yeah.
And that was really hard. And that's when you really had me journaling and writing and paying attention to the thoughts. And then of course, studying the word. And I was like, I didn't even know who I was this whole time.
Yeah.
Just an imagination of whatever Christopher was just running this entire show.
Yeah. What do you think was the hardest part to let go of, right? Because when you come into coaching and growing, like you got to be willing to be wrong about parts of yourself that you've held on to like forever. So what was that for you that was like, okay, this is not really true of who I am?
I think the ego. The ego was, I think, because we all have an ego, and that's supposed to be our shield that protects us from everybody. It protects us from, like, I use my ego to be the smartest one, to be the one that gets all the attention when I go into certain rooms. But at this time, it's like, you did not care. You were just like, girl, Because I would always picture in my head, like, okay, when I meet with Crystal, I'm going to tell about this, and she was wrong about this. And you were just like from a totally different angle. And I was like, oh my gosh, she was all the way right. And I'm completely wrong. So I had to remove the ego out of the way and just like, okay, Kendall, let's go in this with like childlike faith. Like you have no earthly idea. Remove all the shields that you have and just be vulnerable. Allow yourself to become vulnerable and just see this as an opportunity of God making you in a different way. And this is one of the catalysts in that happening. If we can do that, we'll be better today than we were yesterday. And I just had to negotiate, like just let down your boundaries and just learn something. Come out of this learning something. And not, because I think the biggest thing for me was that I know in the beginning it was hard because I felt like I had to know it all. And I just, and it was impossible to know it all. It's like, well, Kendall, why are you working with Crystal if you feel like you know it all? And then it was like, okay, you know what? Okay. Yeah, let me just be quiet and learn.
And I think that the beauty of coaching is that it's really like, you do know, right? And it's the questions where it's like, okay, let's talk about this. Let me ask these questions. And there'd be things you'd be like, well, I don't know what to do. And then we talk about it and you'll have like 5 different things that you did know what to do, right? And so it's just like cracking that open and getting past the I don't know. But there are so many things that I remember you getting over, and the beauty of like watching you bloom and getting past little things, right? Like you have, Kendall is one of my clients. So I'm like, if there's an escape route, she's going to find it. Like she's a magician. She's going to figure if there's an exit, she going to get off on it if she can. And
I'm an Everest.
Right. And you learned how to sit in discomfort and go through versus trying to go around, which is what I think makes you so powerful. Even now, even sitting in discomfort, even this morning, like on our text, you're like, I'm ready. I can do it. Like inner mean girl, Christopher was off the chain, but I'm good. Right. Like even that is a huge shift for you. So what do you think? What do you think it was that enabled you to get to the point where you let go of who you thought you were in order to be who you were meant to be?
That's an excellent question. For me, saw myself physically better. You know how they say like your burden is just easy?
Yeah.
I wake up lighter. Because I think all of that trying to let Christopher run everything and the life that I was living, like I was like on the streets selling drugs or something like that. It sounds so ruthless, like the life that I was living, but it was a hard life. It really was, because it was an emotional toll on me that started to affect me physically.
Yeah.
And I would just remember being just tired, headaches, constantly just thoughts that were just, of course, looping. And it was just a turmoil on my body. But then the minute I started to, of course, question those thoughts, tame Christopher, and just stay positive about the situation and say, okay, you know what? Because I remember one time you gave me this excellent, all of our sessions were excellent. But I remember you saying like, Kendall, why are you doing all this? You have angels. Just say angels deploy and you just relax. And I think I did. I stopped. I said, okay, you know what? Crystal said, just angels deploy. And I remember just sitting back and just relaxing. And I said, angels, y'all figure this out. I'm chilling. I've done my part. I'm tired. Yeah. Operation, go out there and find my clients, activate. And I just remember how the universe just came to me and blessed me with the clients and blessed me with what I needed to execute the vision God had given me. And it was just like easy. And I'm like, Kendall, what if we just did this every single day? Because I remember you saying like, Kendall, this does not have to be hard. You're making everything so hard.
Yeah.
And it doesn't. So I would say that had to be the biggest thing, was just that physical weight. It was like literally 500 pounds on me every single morning I got up. And it was just like, ooh. And now it's like, I just wake up excited and I'm jumping out of bed. It's like totally different.
Yeah. Do you think that there was a part of you, because I know this was a huge issue for me, is like putting on airs, right? Like I want to look a certain way. I want people to think this of me. I want people to think that I've got it all together. Like, but inside I'm like a wreck, right?
Yeah.
I spent a lot of years doing that and not addressing and trying to heal and fix. Like I just wanted it to look good. Right.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that was part of the weight for you outside of like,
absolutely.
Right. Like it's the effort of having to try to keep up.
Yes. That imposter syndrome was real.
Yeah.
And I think I was so caught up in like, because I remember you kept saying like, Kendall, how come you haven't gone live yet? You created this amazing course. You haven't gone live yet. Kendall, you're about to buy this property. You haven't gone live yet. And I'm like, I'm still working on me on the inside. And that was my excuse. I just didn't feel worthy enough. I didn't feel like I was deserving. I felt like a lie. Like, how can somebody talk about, how wonderful real estate investing is, and she's got all this drama going on internally, and physically. And I just didn't feel like, I just felt like it was a lie. But then let's
talk about, before you go on, before you slide past that, let's tell the women all of the things that you came up with. So we're talking about Kendall has an amazing course, and we kept talking about like social media and showing up and telling people, hey, I can help you. I have this knowledge. I can do this with you. Let's talk about some of the excuses you came up with for why you could not do this.
Oh, wow. Oh, what was one? It was so many. I think I came up with one every single time we talked.
Every week it was it.
I couldn't find a platform. I had it on Teachable. I didn't like Teachable. I'm moving over to my website. I didn't like my website. I'm going over to what other next platform there was. I didn't like how much money I was charging. I got to take it off and figure out how much money I'm going to charge.
Yeah.
Oh, nobody's buying the course, even though I wasn't telling anybody about it. I'm going to become a consultant.
Yeah. Or
like,
I need to get my office together, or I don't have the right t-shirt, or I want to do this.
Yes. Right. I had to get my whole stage behind me from my Kia delivered.
Yeah.
I had to get my microphones. I had to get so many people on my podcast before I talk about it. Yeah. I was coming out with every excuse. Like you said, I'm the escape artist.
Every single excuse. Yeah. And that's how it shows up, right? Like that's because those to us seem really legitimate. Oh, I can't do that yet because I don't have my office set up, or my hair's not done, or like that's what we do.
Right. And that was the thoughts. That was Christopher.
Yeah.
And that was the first thing. And then I realized, of course, a comparison is the thief of all joy. Mm-hmm. And Christopher came up with those thoughts only because we might have saw someone else that had a beautiful backdrop. Because I remember too, I was always saying, do you know such and such? Do you know this influencer? Do you know this person? Okay, I'm going to be like her. Do you know this person, Crystal? You're like, no. And I was just comparing myself. And
I'm like, I got a Peloton bike behind me. You can't see it, but like, you don't need all of that, right? Like it's not that serious, but you overcame that and you hit record and you did that. And I mean, watching you grow over the past 2 years has been like the greatest blessing for me. Like as a coach, it's not, my job is to like be there to support, to hold you accountable, and to ask the questions, right? For you, because you have the answers. I don't know anything about real estate. I don't know anything about like what you need to do, what you don't need to do for life, but it's the ability and the partnership that we formed, right, to get you where you wanted to be. That is such a blessing to me, because you did trust, right? That's part of the coaching relationship, is this vulnerability and this trust. And knowing that I wasn't going to like beat you up about it, but I am going to kick you in your back a little bit about like doing the things that you say that you want to do. Right. Mm-hmm. So if you could tell women anything about your journey and growth and how it's changed your life, not just working with me as a coach, but like your whole journey, how this has changed your life. And give them some advice about like what would you tell you like 2-3 years ago?
Oh, wow. 2-3 years ago. Oh, girl, hold on.
Yeah.
Relax. Just relax.
Yeah.
Relax. Chill. Relax. Gosh, this is an excellent question. I'll probably be writing about it in my journal tonight about this one. Definitely relax, because I think at the same time, I mean, I know now at the same time that we began, I had just moved from Atlanta to this small town, Fort Valley, and I still didn't understand why I was here.
Yeah.
So God was he was doing a lot of stuff. Like he moved me away from a lot of people, the job that I knew was going to make me a lot of money.
Yeah.
Everything was just turned upside down. And then also recovering from the mold illness. It was a lot. And it was like times like, okay, what the heck am I doing? I mean, I didn't know. And then you just came along and you were just like that. If I was a character, I guess in a Disney movie, you would be that beautiful bird on my shoulder, giving me that advice, because I was like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I felt alone. I didn't think anybody understood what I was doing. That was the biggest thing, that I didn't think anybody understood what I was going through, what I was dealing with. And it was so much pressure, because it was like, how do I navigate being away from the things that I knew? Like I was away from family. I was away from friends in the small town. I breathed uncomfortableness.
Yeah.
I mean, he leaves me here to say, okay, rehab this property. And then it's like, okay, but you're really funny acting God with these details. Like you get me here, but then what? And then here's Crystal that's just guiding me along. And it's like, and it was an amazing journey, but I just had no idea what to do.
Yeah.
And I'm just incredibly grateful, that we just had that relationship and that phone call, and everything just completely started to change, because it's like, I think all the time, being here. And I absolutely love this place now. You can't drag me out of here.
Yeah.
But, you know, it took a minute to understand everything that was going on.
Yeah.
So I was just like that. Oh, gosh.
And I think
just chill.
I think it's chill. And what you're saying also is raise your hand and say you need help, right? Because we're strong and powerful and smart and all these things. And we're conditioned to be like, you can handle it. You should be able to do this. And I think it takes so much bravery to raise your hand and say, I'm not quite sure. I don't think I have this. I need some support.
Absolutely.
I need some accountability. And that, I think, is a huge step. And I think we might have even talked about like making that decision to say, I need help is the first step in your growth.
Whew. Well said. Absolutely. Because I think my pride and that ego was like, girl, you good. You don't need nobody. You straight.
Should know how to do this.
You should know how to do this. You know, keep talking that self-hate, girl. We got this, you know, because I had never even, you could have never told me that I would have sought you or a therapist or any help, because I thought I had all of this together and I was doing everything. Like, and I remember we used to say all the time, like, and I just like, gosh, that was such a lie. Even on social media, I think I said, if I just, you know, do what God tells me to do, you know, the blessings will overflow. And I look back now like, Kendall, you didn't do what God might have said, okay, Kendall, you go to Fort Valley and rehab. And then he'll tell me, I'll listen. It's all right, God, I got it from here. You can go on, go bother somebody else. Instead of, you know, and now it's like, okay, you know what, God, what is your will for me on this day? Like, I have learned how to completely submit and not take over. Because like that takes the joy out of everything.
Right.
So it's like, what is going to be
mess it up anyway.
Yeah. Just in my own way. We are going to mess it up. Yeah. So it's like, now it's like completely like, whatever happens on this day, I'm excited about it. I'm not going to predict. I'm not going to control. I'm not going to dominate this day.
Yeah.
Because it's just lighter when I just let God let him have his way. And I just back up sometimes like, you know what? I'm gonna let you handle this one, God. You got it. So.
Yeah. And I think the beauty of that also is that what you've learned to do is feel all the feelings, right? Like, it's not like, oh, I'm having a bad day, let me pretend I'm not, right? That's what we used to do. Let me pretend it's all good. It's like, no, I'm having a bad day. Let me feel this. Let me go through this. Let me not necessarily like respond and react from it, but let me acknowledge that I feel bad, that I feel like envious, all those things that we feel that are like bad emotions.
Okay, so for the listeners, I have to say this. This is where I really got uncomfortable with Crystal, because she really was like, I need you to sit in this.
Oh,
and I was like, no, I do not want to sit at Kendall, sit in this. And I was avoiding it. I was resisting it at all costs. That escape artist was like, I'm not sitting in this. I don't want to sit in this. That was the hardest part, but that was the biggest transformation.
Yeah.
Was being able to, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. How many times did I say in my head I was going to not work with you?
Right, exactly.
Because you're making me right. I was like, I don't want to, but it hurt. It was not easy at all.
Yeah.
But that was groundbreaking. Yeah.
Yeah. And for reference, like when we're saying sit in it, it's literally sitting with your negative emotion. Like, and I think I told you 5 minutes, Kendall, like, and you would think that that's not a long time, but
it was a million
feels
years
like forever, right? Like for me, sitting with disappointment, like feeling all of this, like allowing all the thoughts that create disappointment and sitting in that for like 5 minutes feels like an eternity. And you like want to cry and do all the things, right? But learning, the point of that is that you learned, when I sit in this and I don't respond and I don't react and I don't get up and text people and cuss folks out and like make bad decisions because I'm feeling bad, when I can sit in it and feel it and experience it, then your body knows, okay, I didn't die because I felt disappointment. I didn't die because I felt, these things.
Right.
And it makes you available to do so much more when you don't avoid feeling feelings.
Yes,
right.
Absolutely. Because I think too, when you're sitting in it, it keeps you from that anxiety. And anxiety is nothing but living in the future and living in the past. It keeps you present.
Yeah.
Because when I have to sit in that. It's like, because of course, before I have let Christopher go all into the future. Well, you know what's going to happen. So we already know we've got to tear the club up and you're going to have to cuss her out and you're going to have to let these people know who they got the wrong one. Yep. And it's like, hold up. If I just sit in this and stay present, one, I'm with God. Then two, none of that stuff that Christopher is trying to predict is even going to happen. And then he's not going to be bringing up anything from the past, because that's not even true and real either. So that sitting in it really, I mean, now I'm able to meditate and sit in it, which is amazing.
Yeah.
But that, oh my gosh, that was hard.
And that's part of like taming that inner mean girl, right? Because it's,
oh gosh,
when you can learn that it's okay to feel all the feelings, and it's not like, because my inner mean girl's like, that's stupid. You shouldn't still be feeling that because you're a life coach and you shouldn't feel bad ever. And I'm like, really? Like, life is 50-50. You're going to feel crappy half the time. Like, you might as well learn how to function and deal with it and respond in a way that makes you feel proud, and that you don't have to go back and apologize to people and like clean up behind yourself. Right.
Yeah.
So I think like all of that growth is why you are so powerful, why the sky is the limit it continues to be for you, right? Like, I call Candle empire building Barbie because one, she's just gorgeous, and she's building an empire. Like, her business is brilliant. She's teaching people amazing things, which I want you to talk about before we go. Wow. I want to ask you an unexpected question. So we talked all about coaching, your growth. First, what's one tangible thing you would tell the listeners, our international dangerous woman community, something they could do today, like something that helps you on a daily basis with their thoughts, with their mindset?
Oh, wow. That's an excellent question. I want to say it's loaded, because for me, I'm one of those people that I'll try one thing. If that one thing doesn't work, then I would go to something else. But the first thing I do is I just enter gratitude. I used to always see everything. It's this picture I still have in my head now. And I think we talked about it in my session, and I don't even know where that picture is, but it was maybe something I, of course, saw on Instagram, where it was like these two people on a train. There's two identical men on a train, and they're going alongside a mountain. And one man is on like the right side and is facing the mountain. And he's like, has this fear, and he's weary, and he's tired, and he's scared. It's all in his face because he's looking at the mountain. There's this other guy directly on the opposite side, looking out the other window, and he sees the most beautiful landscape of the country.
Wow.
And his face is just like happy and peaceful and just full of like the opportunities that he's seeing. I mean, it's just in the picture. And now I have embedded that in my brain, because it's like, Candle, you're on this train. What side are we going to sit on? Are we going to look at that mountain and look at the mountains and find every problem with the situation? Are we going to sit on the other side and find every single opportunity and get the win out of it, see the positive out of it? And so that is the first thing I automatically do, is just go back to that picture, and I just change seats. I get on the other side, and it's like, okay, here's the opportunity in this. This is the blessing in this, because there's an opportunity for relationships. There's an opportunity, to grow out of this, and, and create something new. So that's how I see it. That's the first thing I do. And then if it still doesn't, thank you. If it still doesn't, sit with me, then I'll sit in it. And then, of course, I'm like, okay, God, immediately I just put it out to the universe, and I tell God, like, okay, something is going to happen. Something great is about to happen, because we've been here before. God, whenever something negative has happened, I know you're up to something great. So all I need to do is just thank you in advance and on credit, and I will be okay. And I just keep moving, because instead, the old me, when I was working with you, I was shut down. I remember sending you a text message, I'm done. I'm in the bed for the day. I need to take a hot bath, because I would just shut down from one bad experience. I couldn't function. And now it's just like, I just keep going. I don't quit. I just, say, and I just trust God. And that was the biggest thing you taught me too. I learned so much from you. You taught me to, of course, believe. Like, Candle, you have to know, and believe God on his word. And now I do. So now it's like, it's an afterthought. Like, God, you got this.
Yeah.
What are we working on today? Let's keep going. And
Yeah.
it all works out.
It's learning how so your inner gratitude work has helped you learn how to fight for your possibilities versus fighting for your limitations.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would even focus on and it is so crazy because there was this thought that would just be constantly, in my head. And it was about, of course, like our biggest thing was like the money. That was one of those. And further research, we figured out, that it was like, of course, from the mold and some damage left residue. And then handling that and learning how to rewire my brain. And it just went away. So now it's like, Candle, like you're in abundance now. Like now you are really building an empire. Like that was the only thing that was in your brain was, of course, those thoughts that you constantly had. But now that you don't have those, I'm just constantly in, okay, God, what am I creating today? What am I doing? So to wake up and now see which is the biggest blessing to me, is like I get the emails from Stripe. Your funds are on its way. Like to see this every single day.
Emails.
Those emails.
Good emails.
Those are the biggest blessings. And I'm like, I just see how far I've come.
Yeah.
Because, we both know how I was struggling with that. And wherever that came from, it's you having to help me definitely deal with that and sit in that and figure out like what was going on to get to where I am now. Oh man.
Yeah.
The sky's the limit.
Amazing. The sky is absolutely the limit. Okay. So now I'm going to ask you a question. Okay.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
If you could get rid of one of your responsibilities today, like just get rid of it, like one of your adulting responsibilities, which one would you get rid of?
One of my adulting responsibilities. I am working on it. I have been speaking this, and this is you're going to be shocked. And this is going to happen in 2022. I'm claiming it.
Okay.
And when I go back and listen to this in 2023, it's like I will be eating my chicken nuggets and French fries and celebrating because this came true. But I'm declaring that I will be 100% debt free in 2022. I do want that. I don't like bills. I don't like to pay bills.
I don't like bills either.
And so it's just like now that I'm getting rid of Christopher in that financial aspect and taking control, which is what I should have been doing a long time ago of my finances and of my future, because I think like we were going back talking about before about the unworthiness.
Yeah.
Because I'm now actually realizing like, Kendall, you have really, and you have been saying it all along. I didn't see it. You're like, Kendall, you're the empire building Barbie. And I'm like, no, I'm not. Like, where is this coming from? Like I didn't see it. I never understood where you came from with that. And I was like, oh, that's so cute that she's giving me that title, but I don't know where she's coming from. But now it's like, Kendall, you are building an empire. I actually see it now. It's showing, I'm showing up now as that person. And so now it's like everything I'm doing is just so intentional with one, making that dream for me come true with not paying any bills, because that is something I just never liked it. And it could be something just from childhood, seeing my mother pay bills, and she never it, but she just made it an actual torture chamber to where we couldn't go anywhere. We would have to sit there. It was like we were on punishment too for her writing bills. So it's like, Mom, why are we in trouble? And so we like, we can't do anything. We're not going anywhere. Bills today. And it was like, and I think a part of that is like how I see it now. And it's like, this cannot be a bad thing. This can be a great thing by paying off everything earlier, paying everything in advance. How about even going further and paying off other people's bills that are less fortunate? So I've now turned it into a very positive thing that I love that. Yeah. So that's what I'm going for, is like paying off everything, so that now it's like, okay, and then when you pay off everything, now we can finally get into cryptocurrency and buy some real estate in the metaverse. So I'm thinking bigger, like from that one thing that I don't want to do. Of course, I'm seeing the positive out of it.
Yes. So, I love that. Yeah. Okay. All right. So you heard it here. We all listen to this podcast next year, right? You have to come back, right? We're going to do this again. So you'll have to come back. So tell the women right? Exactly where they can find you. I want some dangerous women to get into real estate and make money and
Oh,
learn how to do
wow.
the things that you are so
Yeah.
amazing at teaching. Tell them where they can find you, and we'll include all of this in the show notes, but I want you to tell them
Okay.
where to go.
Absolutely. Well, you can find me, my entire handle all over the place is Candle Lockett, CandleLockett. I have a podcast, Lighting Up Real Estate, and it's on all directories where I interview other real estate investors. Because from the very beginning, I think I know I'm supposed to be promoting right now, but I still got to go back to Crystal. Like, she definitely found that I love talking and teaching real estate investing. And I didn't even realize it until she was the one that brought it to my attention. She was like, Kendall, you just helped somebody become a real estate investor. And I'm like, I did.
Mm-hmm.
And I really did. And I didn't see my worth. I thought that's what I was supposed to do. And she's like, Kendall, this is what people get paid money to do. And you're
Correct.
not, I didn't
Correct.
know. And yet I was struggling about paying bills and had no earthly idea that this gift that God had put in me could really be making me a living and I could love it. And so now I'm finally at a place where I figured out like my happiness, of course, of being in school, which of course thanks to you and me talking to you about that, I'm getting my master's in real estate, which is like my dream degree that I'm finally going after. And then being able to turn around and then help people, become investors too, because it's enough out here for all of us. And I'm a giver. So it's not even about like what I have. It's about like making sure that other people can have everything they need and use real estate as that tool to get there. So I do teach real estate investing, all things real estate investing pretty much, because I get so excited about just talking about it and learning and then reteaching it so everybody gets it. Because I mean, for me, and like I said, I didn't see it. Crystal saw it. It has definitely been an opportunity for me to build wealth. It's been that platform and the catalyst for me to, of course, build my empire was all through real estate. And I'm like, anybody can do this. It's not hard. And I just love it. And I want anybody that wants to know about real estate, I just want to help them.
Candle is the real estate queen. That is what she is called. Not only is she an empire building Barbie, she is a real estate queen. And so getting I didn't even know they had masters in real, like that's how much she loves real estate. Like she's been in the industry for years. She knows all there is to know. And she's like, yes, sign me up to learn more stuff. Right. So
more stuff. Yes.
You are an amazing teacher. And I would highly recommend anybody interested in real estate. I'm always sending people to your podcast, Lighting Up Real Estate.
Thank you.
And then your course, Candle University, it can be found on your website, right?
Actually,
no.
Okay. So let me tell you how I have stepped into Candle Lockett and I've owned who God has created me to be.
Yes.
I have even gone even further. Like I no longer have Candle University. What I created now is called a community, Real Estate Investors on Fire.
Ooh.
Yes. And I love this community because one thing I love about what I created was that you have to be around like-minded people and surround yourself with other people that are doing or wanting to do and executing the goal that you're going after, which is real estate investing. If you're going to be in crypto, you need to be around other people that are also investing in crypto.
Right.
If you are looking for, of course, a transformation in personal wellness, I mean, that's why we have the Dangerous Woman community.
Yeah.
So you have to surround yourself with those people of what you're reaching is searching for in your own life. So with the community that I have, Real Estate Investors on Fire, I absolutely love it. I'm my other inner circle friends are like, Kendall, you're doing too much in it. I might have to talk to Crystal about that. But I think you have talked to me about it.
Talked about it. She teaches a lot in the community.
I love to teach. So yes, I do teach live classes on real estate investing, everything from wholesaling to becoming a landlord to hiring a realtor, working with contractors, getting financing, finding the properties. You name it, I've got it. I even go as far as like, hey, every so often I'll even say, hey, you guys, what do you guys need to learn about real estate investing? And they'll tell me, and it's like, bet. So I've got to come up with a new course schedule for even May, where I will be teaching for the month of May. But I just love it because I get, well, the thing is for me too, my phrase I always say is like, I love real estate investing, but my greatest flex is teaching others how to do it.
Yeah.
And I just could not see the conversion. Even though I was selling the courses when I had Kendall University, I couldn't see anybody actually going out becoming a real estate
Right.
investor. Whereas this time, it's like I literally can say that I have my hand on you. I'm holding your hand because everybody says you got to hold my hand. Well, I'm literally doing it now because
Yeah.
you can send me a DM in the community. You have others that are surrounding you and supporting you. Like
Yes.
I do monthly challenges because right now we're doing this challenge where you got to stand in front of a property that you're looking at, and to see my
Ooh,
community standing in front of these investment properties. Oh my gosh, because they're actually taking
I
action.
love that.
And
Yeah.
yes, and I have one right now. He completed his first flip. So I'm working with him, making sure that we're hiring the right realtor.
Wow.
And it's being sold. I have another one. They're creating their Airbnb. Another one is rehabbing a historic home like mine in Tennessee. I mean,
Wow.
I love it. And I can see it.
I love
And
this.
yeah,
Yeah.
and so they're just not, going by the wayside. It's like, hey, and I follow up with them like, hey, how's it going with the house?
Yeah.
How's your financing going? Do you need another opinion or a set of eyes? Do you need to get another lender? Can I help you with anything? Because I am really being intentional about this. I know for
Wow.
my retirement, I definitely want real estate to be that tool for me. And I'm just like, okay, anybody else can have the exact same thing because I am
Yeah.
single. I don't have like the income of a husband, but I did buy a property that's giving me the income
You
of a
did.
husband. So it's like, I could tell you or show you and teach you how to do the exact same thing too if you just
Mm-hmm.
want security. So that's just why I'm so passionate about it. And I mean, I love it. I just love this now.
I can
Yeah.
tell. And that makes me so happy. Y'all need to
Yeah.
get in this community. I mean, landlord, Airbnb, like owning a
Yeah.
home, and you're renovating this
Flipping.
beautiful historic home,
Yes.
which you can follow along on all of you're on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook,
Yeah.
where sometimes you go live.
Sometimes I go live. I've got to
Sometimes
do
you go
better.
live.
Yeah. I
Sometimes
go
you go
live.
live. So this
Yeah.
is amazing. Thank you so much. I'm just exceedingly proud to watch
Thank
you, to
you.
support you. Kendall and I worked together for so long, and I'm always your coach. So even now it's like, okay, if there's an issue, let's talk about it. Let's go through with
Yeah.
this. Just because we built this partnership and this relationship, and to see you where you are now and knowing where you're going, like I already see it, and it just makes me so happy. And I'm just so proud
Yay.
of you for doing the work, right? Because
Yeah.
you had to do the work. I couldn't crawl in your brain and be like, let me rewire this. Like, you did the work.
Yes.
And I am just so proud of you. And thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for being my guest on
It's an
my
honor.
podcast. And you'll have to come back.
Absolutely.
Have to come
Absolutely.
back.
This was
So
an honor. Thank you.
thank you so much. And all of your information is going to be in the show notes. And I will be talking about this and promoting all of this when it comes up. And everybody follow
Awesome.
you on
Yes.
social media at can't what an amazing name, right? At Kendall Lockett. How cool. How you get such a cool name?
My mom and ex-husband collided.
Beautiful. It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
I told him I'm keeping that last name. That's my like Tina Turner. Like that's my
Yeah.
stage name. I'm
I
keeping the last
mean, you know
name.
what? It goes together.
It does. That's
It
what I told
goes
him. Like, listen,
together.
I worked hard for that name. So
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much. And we'll be talking soon.
yes.
If you found today's episode helpful, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and subscribe to this channel so you never miss an episode. And I'd really love to hear how you're doing. You can find me at Dr. Crystal Connor on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. I can't wait to hear what progress you've made. So until next week, see ya.